Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. It's, of course, with mixed feelings and two mics, which I welcome you to the last day of the ISKCON Leadership Sanga. Mixed feelings because I'm very happy to see you and also to see the GBCs who have interrupted their meetings to attend the last day. But of course, sad that this will be the last day together in this particular event. We start with a special presentation, very much in tune with our theme, the theme of the ILS being the future. So, His Grace Hrdaya Chaitanya Prabhu will tell us about the future of the Mayapur city, the future of the Mayapur master plan. Hrdaya Chaitanya Prabhu is one of our most experienced GBC members. He oversees various countries in Europe, Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, France, Spain, Portugal, and is also GBC here for Mayapur. He has also served as the GBC chairman in the past, so we are very thrilled to hear from him on the Mayapur master plan. Ladies and gentlemen, Hrdaya Chaitanya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Maharajas and Prabhus, and thank you to the ILS management, Gopal Bhatta Prabhu and Kaunteya Prabhu, for giving the time. I thank them on behalf of the Mayapur management. So, this is a picture with on the left side the Ganges, and on the right side the Jalangi, and in the middle the Mayapur, what we call now more and more temple town. Lord Nityananda has predicted 500 years ago that one exceedingly wonderful temple will appear from which the eternal service of God will be taught everywhere. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he confirmed this from his veranda looking at the Mayapur, that the Adbhut Mandir would appear. And around the Adbhut Mandir would also, according to his prediction, appear a temple town where devotees would live from all over the world. And he stated that Sri Mayapur is the most important place of pilgrimage. And Srila Prabhupada wrote to His Holiness Jayapataka Swami, just as Arjuna was asked to fight by Krishna, so it was Prabhupada's dream to make Mayapur a transcendental city. And Prabhupada's dream means Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. So it was Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami's dream that this transcendental city would appear. And just like Arjuna followed the instruction of Krishna, so also Srila Prabhupada followed the instruction of his spiritual master. And that's why in 1972, when there was the first Gaurapurnima festival with around 70 devotees from the West, Srila Prabhupada at that time installed the Anantashesha deity, which is presently situated under the TOVP. Srila Prabhupada gave a lot of instruction. He gave his vision for the Mayapur temple town with many aspects, such as temple worship, education, cow protection, self-sufficiency, Harinam Kirtan, ISKCON World Headquarters, etc. All these instructions of Srila Prabhupada, they were compiled, and this compilation was the basis for making the master plan. What's happening? Okay. So the number of pilgrimages that visit Mayapur on yearly basis is 5 million. And the residents living in Mayapur is between 6 and 7,000, and they are from 90 different countries. And the guest house has around 1,000 rooms and can host around 4,000 visitors. And 10 traveling Sankirtan buses and the devotees in Mayapur itself together distributed in 2019 1,250,000 books. When Mamata Banerjee, who is the chief minister of West Bengal, came to Mayapur 1 year ago, she was very enlightened, very satisfied. She said this will definitely be a new landmark in the religious tourism destination, not only in the state and the country, but also in the whole world. It is indeed a wonderful experience for me. And this is very much in line with what Srila Prabhupada stated. Sorry. Srila Prabhupada said, my idea is to attract people of the whole world to Mayapur. So by her grace and the grace of the government of West Bengal, then the foundation has been allowed to own 750 acres of land. Before the limit was 24 acres, now that has been lifted to 750 acres, which enhances very much the development of the Mayapur township. This is a master plan with different colors, different areas. We see the education area. I'm sorry, I'm mixing up here. Different areas are there, residential, different experiences, etc. We will enter into that more deep in a minute. This is a three-dimensional vision of what the future could be of the Mayapur temple town. There are three important avenues. One is the Temple Avenue from the TOVP to the Jalangi. Another one is the Srila Prabhupada Avenue from the Samadhi towards the direction Tarampur Road. And the third one is the Chaitanya Avenue, that goes all the way, is in line with Yogapit and also is in line with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house. These are the three important avenues in the future master plan. Then highlighted with red, we see what we call the visitors experience. This is 185 acres of land, and that will be the area where the visitors, mainly when they come to Mayapur, where they can be dispersed and go in different areas, different parks, where they will come in contact with different aspects of Krishna consciousness while being in Mayapur. TOVP and Samadhi. This is some mud has been put where the future Temple Avenue will be, and we hope that it will look as follows. After some time. And then the Temple Avenue ends at the Jalangi, and there is the Jalangi Ghat. This is a view in the future Srila Prabhupada Avenue. And presently we are putting some mud because all the avenues are on the same height and Mayapur land is quite low. So we are putting some mud where the future Prabhupada Avenue will be. A view in the Chaitanya Avenue. And then here we see the green are the parks. TOVP has a garden of 23 acres. And then we have the Vrindavan Park with 10 acres, which is situated next to the Temple Avenue. Then the Holy Name Park, which is situated next to the Brahmastan, Navadvip Park, Festival Park. Then we have the Goshala, some area for the elephants. This will all be green areas, and also areas where people can learn and can experience different aspects of Krishna consciousness. In the parks there will also be mandapas where devotees can have kirtan or give some lectures. We also consider the flora and fauna because there are particular species of trees and particular species of birds and animals, and we try to keep them within the master plan. Different animal species in Mayapur. Then we also have the plazas, the crossing of roads, here what we call the Mayur Plaza, in the crossing of the Chaitanya Avenue and an east-west road. This is the Vrindavan Park, where we bring Vrindavan to Mayapur. This is one of our well-known pujaris. It's either Jananivas Prabhu or Pankajangri Prabhu, one of the two. Who is it? Pancharatna Prabhu? Pankajangri Prabhu. Okay, good, thank you. So another aspect of the Vrindavan Park, Holy Name Park, where people will be encouraged in a spontaneous way to take up the chanting of the Holy Name. In a revival lecture in 1974, in September, Srila Prabhupada expressed, it was the desire of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur that Europeans and Americans would come here and chant Hare Krishna mantra. That prophecy is now being fulfilled, and that is my satisfaction, because it is also the satisfaction of his spiritual master. Holy Name Park, I will have to go a little faster because from behind I'm being pushed to go a little faster. This is the Srila Prabhupada Park, where the visitors will come in contact with Srila Prabhupada and his preaching and his books and his teachings. This is a picture from the Navadvip Mandal Parikram, because we will also have a Navadvip Park where people can come in contact with the 9 forms of devotional service. Another view in the Navadvip Park. Then encircled with a red line we have the festival park, which is used for the festivals. And we also have the area for the elephants, a little forest of a few acres. And the festival park is organized, is used for many big festivals, such as the arrival of the Navadvip Parikram, for example, or Gaurapurnima, the bathing ceremony, or Rath Yatra, as we see here, Gundicha festival. We have Gita Jayanti, big festival in Mayapur, because there are hundreds of houses where on a weekly basis devotees gather, congregation gathers and reads and studies Bhagavad Gita on a weekly basis. And then once a year, around the time of Gita Jayanti, they come to Mayapur for 5 days and have a big festival. Tribal convention is on us. Bhakti Purushottam Swami started that program like 7 years ago under the inspiration of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami, and there is a 3-day festival every year. There is also 17 acres of Goshala, because Krishna's temple town needs to have cows. It's a natural part of temple town. And 17 acres for the present 365 cows. In the future we would like to have a big farm not too far away from Mayapur. Some bulls are working, only a few, and some are transporting visitors, some interaction with the cows. Srila Prabhupada said this program is very, very important. If you can help to organize our cow program in Mayapur, it will be a great credit for you. Prabhupada Avenue, in the east-west direction from the Samadhi, and on the other hand, on the other side, there might be, in the future, there might be GBC facilities, but that's not yet defined. That's still under discussion. This is the Prabhupada Plaza. Then we have stadium, cottage, retail, and food for life. This is the Haribol Stadium, where 30 to 40,000 devotees could gather together for programs or for chanting the holy name. This is retail and cottage industry, where things are produced, mirdangas are made, cartels, incense, soap, etc., and then they are sold to the visitors. Food for life, nobody should go hungry within a 10-mile radius of any temple. And in the future, we hope to have such a food for life facility where thousands of people can take prasadam in one go. Educational area is 110 acres. And starting with the Mayapur University, 29 acres. And they will have different faculties. That still all has to be worked out much more, but there is a facility, a place for them. Then education area where girls and boys school, which gives a facility for 1,500 children. This is a picture of the present what we call the SMI school, Sri Mayapur International School. Then we also have the national school, where there are like 850 students presently getting educated. Then there is the Bhaktivedanta Academy, which we call most of the time the Gurukul, where the devotees live a Vedic lifestyle and where they learn to interact with the cows, and they do the yagyas, they cook for themselves, they get educated in teachings of Srila Prabhupada and Krishna consciousness. Mayapur Institute, where adults can come and systematically study Srila Prabhupada's books. The Mayapur Academy, 5 minutes left. The Mayapur Academy with temple worship and cooking. Then the guest house district will be in the south part of the master plan, where there is 23 acres, where many guest houses can be built. This is hopefully the future Jalangi riverfront. And there is on the west side of the Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Street, between the Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Street and towards the Ganga. There is also an area for residential, also for hospital, and the Srila Prabhupada Ghat is there, with some beautiful pictures from the Ganges. And hopefully the future Prabhupada Ghat will be manifested. The street sections, in general, the streets are free of traffic of cars, but that provision has to be there. But there is also the provision for walking and for bullock carts. Picture of the street section. We have Rajapur, which is a few kilometers away, where we are also working on a small temple town plan. So this is 5 kilometers from Mayapur, as you know. Then there is an implementation concept. Whatever you want to do, then it should be done in stages. In this case, we provide to do it in 3 phases: 2025, 30, and 35. The overall cost of the Mayapur development is estimated on more or less $500 million. If we would have to pay for everything that is constructed, means houses, apartments, roads, educational facilities, parks, everything, that would be an investment of that size. By the inspiration and help of Manorama prabhus, he is bringing a number of important industrialists of India together, and they form the advisory committee for the Mayapur development. There are 11 amongst them, the most prominent industrialists of India, and also Ambarish Prabhu. 11 of them form the advisory committee that work together, and we had a meeting 1 month ago with 4 of them, and 2 were present by video. So 6 of them participated in a meeting, and the advice towards the development of Mayapur started. So obviously there are challenges. Usually challenges are funding and manpower. To find funding and to find qualified devotees. Srila Prabhupada said we have plans for erecting a magnificent international city based on this Vedic culture. So there are service opportunities. And therefore, we address also this presentation to all of you, because all of you are involved in temples, in preaching Krishna consciousness. And if there is any yatra, or any individual within the yatra or within the congregation who would like to take up one aspect of the Mayapur temple town. For example, there is one of the parks, like the Vrindavan park has been taken up by the Mayapur Pujari services here. They have taken up the Mayapur Vrindavan park. But if another yatra would want to take up, for example, the Prabhupada park or the Holy Name park or any other initiative or the Temple Avenue or the Prabhupada Avenue, there is plenty of opportunities, and we would be very happy to serve you with all the detailed information that is required if you have somebody or if you yourself are interested in that. So for that, please contact anybody of the Mayapur management or our master plan office in room 302 in the Lotus building, and the email address is there. Srila Prabhupada says, Bombay is my office, Vrindavan is my home, and Mayapur is my place of worship. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Hrdaya Chaitanya Prabhu and your master plan team.
So our next exalted speaker is Manorama Prabhu. Please come up. Manorama Prabhu's mother joined Krishna consciousness. He was raised in the Gurukula, and in 1996 he became the minister of youth. What's the actual name?
ISKCON Youth Ministry.
ISKCON Youth Ministry. 25 years he's been a very, very successful minister. Bus tours throughout the world, actually. And you have now, how many? 79 youth ministers worldwide under his guidance and care. So he's going to begin, and we are cut back a little, so maybe 16 minutes or so.
Hare Krishna. Which one? Forward. So I've been asked to share a few words from the perspective of the youth ministry on the theme of the ILS, some challenges, some opportunities from our perspective. Please take care of the children, they are our future hopes, Srila Prabhupada said. One day they will turn the world by their preaching. This is the most important post in pushing on this movement practically, because you shall create many, many preachers of the future. ILS key question: what are the foundational principles which should form the bedrock of our institution from the youth perspective? Happy devotees, more devotees. Caring for, integrating, engaging our youth so they can be inspired to take up the reins and become the future managers, leaders, teachers, preachers, giving the gift of Krishna consciousness to others. We need more young people becoming Krishna conscious and sharing Krishna consciousness with others. Raise your hand if you'd love to have more young people enthused at your temple. Yeah. Developing an outreach mission focus for our young people. It's not just a Sunday feast and Kirtan festival culture. You might have noticed some of our young people growing up in the movement, they tend to almost in a shy way, congregate in the temples and have kirtan festivals and come for Sunday feasts, but outreach, going out there and reaching out to the public and spreading Krishna consciousness, taking it to the streets, as Hrdaya Prabhu said in his last days. The Hare Krishna movement, putting the movement back into the word movement, onwards to every town and village. Here you see a photo from our Europe bus tour last summer, where we traveled to cities around Europe, going on Harinams, distributing books, putting on Rathayatra festivals, facilitating aha moments for our youth. Those moments when the young people growing up in Krishna consciousness decide for themselves, I want to be a Hare Krishna devotee. This is for me. I want to take this seriously. Not just because my parents told me, but because I want to join the Hare Krishna movement. So facilitating those kinds of programs for our youth to bring them to this point. Once they've made that decision, emphasizing strong sadhana. This is a challenge for our generation. From kirtan to japa to initiation. Proper ashram training. We'll get into that more in a bit. Studying Srila Prabhupada's books, the foundation for our youth. They don't like to read, if you haven't noticed. They're mostly on social media and on their smartphones. So trying to encourage our youth and our youth groups around the world to really study Srila Prabhupada's books and study the teachings. Developing gratitude for Srila Prabhupada. Recently at our youth group in Alachua, Florida, we've started watching the Following Srila Prabhupada video series by Yadupar, where the disciples are sharing their experiences of the different scenes and events, what was going on at the time. And it's really having an effect on our youth. They're starting to appreciate Srila Prabhupada more and develop gratitude. So we're trying to do that in other youth programs. Rekindling the volunteer spirit amongst the next generation. Most of the time you ask our young people to do some service and they'll say, how much are you going to pay me to do that? So rekindling this idea that Srila Prabhupada had, that this is a movement of giving ourselves in dedication to Krishna, volunteering our time, our intelligence. But it has to happen under a new paradigm where we show that we take care of the devotees that surrender their lives to Krishna. If the youth see that we don't take care of the devotees who've surrendered in their old age, there's no retirement for them, it's going to be very difficult for my generation to surrender and give themselves as volunteers. ILS key question. How will we govern and protect our society as it continues to grow? From the youth perspective, training and empowering our next generation younger leaders, managers, zonal supervisors now, while our elders are still here to guide and encourage and correct. Develop more GBC and TP college courses in every country. We had one in North America this summer. We have one here. We need many, many more so that we can train up our young people. Developing modules in Kshatriya leadership training for our next generation. How to govern a spiritual society where transcendental sadhus can give advice, principled, courageous leaders can lead, efficient managers get things done, and the devotees feel happy and protected in our movement. ILS key question. How can we meld traditional values and sacred concepts from our Shastra with the need to remain relevant to the ever-changing society we live in? We young people love to innovate, improve on the ways of our parents. And to avoid pitfalls, we need to understand what are foundational principles that can't be changed, and what are some details that can be adjusted. We do that by studying Srila Prabhupada's books, researching all of Srila Prabhupada's quotes on a particular topic, not just cherry picking, and consulting with our elders. With the guidance of our elders, creating relevant outreach programs with adapted approaches for various audiences, various ethnicities. Pandavasena in the UK, you may have heard of them. They have a very interesting outreach program for their youth, where they put 20 youth at a time in a room and say, if it was up to you to spread Krishna consciousness in England, in the UK, within 5 years, how would you do it? To every segment of society, to the intellectuals, to the businessmen, to the artists, whatever. And the youth, they brainstorm and come up with innovative ideas, and that all gets logged into spreadsheets by the Pandavasena leaders. And when they have enough of them, let's say 50 youth who are interested to preach in a particular segment of society, the Pandavasena elders get together and pool their resources and say, here are resources, here's money, here's facilities, go out and do it. Go and spread Krishna consciousness in that segment of society. Amazing program. ILS key question. The new leaders of our movement will come from various walks of life and multiple global cultures. How will we synthesize a cohesive and effective way forward? From our youth perspective, requiring basic training and education for our next generation. Ashram type residential, KC boot camp, Gurukula light, that kind of training. Ongoing training to standardize common principles and values. ILS key question. The need to read and understand the intention behind Srila Prabhupada's direction is becoming more and more critical. How will we assure the mood and objectives Srila Prabhupada enunciated in his books are preserved into the future? Passing on Srila Prabhupada's mood to the next generation. Encouraging regular reading and discussion of Srila Prabhupada's books amongst our next generation devotees and youth Sangha groups. Bridging the gap. This is a program we've launched recently where we invite senior devotees to share with our youth their fears and hopes for the future, their wisdom, how Srila Prabhupada did things. And it's very encouraging for the youth to get that kind of association with our seniors and get that wisdom. ILS key question. How can we build a society that has healthy guru-disciple, family, social, and organizational interactions? For our youth, that means providing positive role models and criteria for measuring success. Encouraging our young people to take the existing courses that we have, Grihastha Vision Team, premarital counseling course, Disciples course, GBC college courses, so many courses we saw just now at the Mayapur Academy, so many wonderful courses. Empowering our youth to get involved on temple boards, on festival committees, at regional leadership meetings. You'll be pleased to know that the youth group graduates in Alachua are organizing many of our festivals there now. In Toronto, the youth group graduates have been organizing the Toronto Rath Yatra for several years. And recently, for the past 3 years in North America, the Sanga Initiative Youth Group elders, the youth group graduates, have been organizing the North American leadership meetings, including facilitating the meetings. That's a great way for the next generation to see what you all do, to get a taste for serving in leadership positions in the movement. Addressing hot button issues with our youth. On the bus tour last summer, we had the youth make a list of 10 of the top hot button issues that are challenging their faith, because they go out on the internet and they search and they find out stuff on social media, things that are happening in ISKCON. And they have questions, they have doubts. And when we can address them, working through difficult situations together as a family, it makes everybody stronger. Promoting a strong sense of family, sharing and bonding among our senior and junior leaders, such as what's happening here at ILS. We're also organizing youth leadership sanghas amongst the youth leaders. ILS key question. Our ISKCON has moved from a temple-based model to include vast numbers of congregation devotees. How will all future members become firmly grounded in Srila Prabhupada's teachings and be able to inspire others to do the same? How will our temples remain vibrant and our deities properly cared for when the first generation passes away? Again, focusing on getting our youth to read Srila Prabhupada's books and study them, We're pushing Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction study groups with our youth groups in Alachua and around the world. Pandavasena youth leaders get together once a week and intensely study Chaitanya Charitamrita together. Vaisheshika Prabhu's Be a Sage page by page initiative. The Houston Temple model. If you've been to Houston, Texas, you may have noticed we have a giant, beautiful temple there with a restaurant, huge deities, Radha Nila Madhava, cultural hall, so many activities going on there. It's managed entirely by the householder community. The grihastas take turns, along with the youth of that community. They take turns managing that temple. So that's one model for the future. Short-term residential ashram training for our next generation youth and young adults. Be a yogi for a week, a month, a summer break, or more. These are some ideas, some opportunities. Creating a service placement office, something that the youth ministry is working on this year. To match up talented, enthusiastic young people with service positions at ISKCON temples, your temples, projects, and devotee businesses. If you need young people at your temple, contact the service placement office. We'll scour the world and try to find people for you. Eventually developing a Krishna conscious university. This isn't something that I'm going to do, but I'm hoping that we as a movement will get there soon. Transcendental meditation, you might have heard of. They have a university in Iowa. Their students graduate in the top 5% of the most intelligent students in the state of Iowa each year. And they're using that as proof that meditating before they do their classes every morning is effective. The Yogi Bhajan people have a university in Amritsar. They send all of their youth there from around the world to get trained up. And they leave that university with a teaching degree in Kundalini Yoga. So by the time they graduate, they can open a Kundalini Yoga studio anywhere, among other things. The Mormons have 3 universities, and they graduate top professionals in all sectors of society. And they have something called the mission trips, which we're very interested in, and we're trying to roll out something similar in ISKCON now. It's called the Krishna Conscious Gap Year Experience. The idea here is that we want to encourage our young people to give 1 year of their life, when they still are young and have enthusiasm and vitality, give 1 year of your life fully to the mission of ISKCON. And then continue on with your university education, business, etc. 70,000 people, 70,000 students are sent around the world each year by the Mormons on mission trips. That's a mind-boggling number, 70,000 young people, young missionaries. And when they come back from their mission trips, they get priority placement at Mormon businesses, first-class training by the Mormon University. Our movement was built on the enthusiasm of young people. Work with us to help develop this Krishna conscious gap year experience for our young people. We currently envision it to have 4 components. The first is ashram training, to give them some experience of what it is to live in an ashram for a few months, get up for the morning program, do temple services. Taking Bhakti Sastri course to really study the foundational philosophy that's in our books. Engaging in missionary outreach activities, interacting with the public, giving Krishna consciousness to others, book distribution, Harinam, festival tours, so many variety of projects we have. And the 4th thing is developing your own unique service contribution to ISKCON. Our young people are so talented, they have so much to give, and it is our hope that mentors will be able to guide them and figure out what it is that they want to do that's unique, their service contribution to ISKCON, and we can help get them started on that path, connect them with devotees who are already working in those fields, and by the time they finish the gap year, they can continue with that. So please help us create this gap year culture in ISKCON. Be a host temple, promote this. It's a bright future forward from the youth ministry. Here you see a group photo of us on Harinam in Venice last summer. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
you so much, Manorama Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Every day we've been introducing to you the devotee that has paid for the prasadam that you're taking. I think it's like really fabulous prasadam. Is there anyone who has disagreed? No one. No one disagreed. That's fantastic. So today we'll have Mukunda Madhava Prabhu introduce Devaki Nandan Prabhu of North India. He's, of course, everybody knows him. He's a famous devotee, builds so many temples, makes so many devotees. Right hand, the right arm of Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Please come up, Prabhu.
So, His Grace Devakinandan Prabhu, as a zonal secretary for Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand, Bihar and Rajasthan, from all the temples in the zone, Devakinandan Prabhu is arranging the funding for the today's full day prasad. As a token of appreciation. Hare Krishna.